Lesson 2.4 is titled Quadratic Functions and Equations. In this lesson, we'll take a look at utilizing square roots to solve finding x-intercepts, and then we'll introduce what's called complex numbers. So let's start first by using square roots to solve equations. If you have a quadratic equation and you're not going to set it equal to 0, if you just have an x squared term, you can solve this easily enough simply by taking the square root of each side. When you do that, the operation cancels out the squared term, leaving you with x. On the right, though, because you're solving a quadratic, we put plus or minus in front of our answer, and then we try to simplify. Now, the square root of 16 is 4. This means x could equal positive or negative 4. Which means there are two x-intercepts. Our x-intercepts would be at 4, 0 and negative 4, 0. But in our next example, we kind of run into a roadblock. Again, we have our quadratic term on the left, x squared. To get x by itself, we can take the square root of both sides, and it cancels out the squared on the left, leaving you with just x. On the right, if we put plus or minus out in front of our square root, notice the number on the inside is negative 9. You can't take the square root of a negative number. It isn't possible to multiply something by itself and have a negative answer. So not possible. Now, what this actually means is that there are no x-intercepts on the graph, or no real solutions. However, there's a way to simplify a square root that has a negative in it. And believe it or not, it's called an imaginary unit. I know, we're coming up with imaginary numbers here. It's kind of crazy. The variable used to describe an imaginary unit is I, which should make sense. And I equals the square root of negative 1, which essentially will take out your negative value. Now, an imaginary number is useful when you simplify radicals, or that square root. So it's useful to simplify a square root. What we'll do with this information is we'll simplify and write numbers in a specific form and eventually try to solve a quadratic equation and get imaginary solutions. Looking at simplifying with that I symbol, we have what's called a complex number. And a complex number is of the form A plus B times I. This is known as the standard form for a complex number. Notice with I in there, that indicates that that would be the imaginary part of the solution. The A in front represents the real number or the real value in the solution. The BI part is the imaginary part. It's the imaginary value. I know, it's kind of hard to wrap our heads around this, but what we can do with this information is simplify with negatives on the inside of the square root, and we'll have that letter I in our final answer. On the right, it says simplify each expression. Write your answer as a complex number in standard form. The first example is the square root of negative 49. Now notice it's not x squared equals negative 49, it's just the square root of 49. Therefore, we're only taking the positive answer. We're not going to have plus or minus. But before we can evaluate even that much of it, we need to factor out the negative sign by taking out the square root of negative 1 as I. So if we factor out that negative by putting I out in front, on the inside we just have, there we go, the square root of 49. Now the square root of 49 is a perfect square. It equals 7. So this would be 7 times I. That's the simplified version for the square root of negative 49. However, in standard form, it has to look like A plus BI. So we have kind of the BI part. Notice the A is missing. If that's missing, then we just plug in 0 as the placeholder for addition. 0 plus 7i is what that would look like in standard form. Trying to get the dot on top there. There we go. Taking a look at the next example, the square root of negative 7. Again, the first thing you want to do is eliminate the negative on the inside by putting the coefficient of I out in front. But now what happens with the square root of 7 is it isn't simplifiable. There's simplifiable. Is that even a word? You can simplify it. So we'll leave square root 7 in our answer, and we can actually put I, or we can leave I out in front, or you can put it after, but make sure I doesn't go on the inside. Now notice again, that's just the BI part. So to convert it to standard form, we'll use 0 plus, and then I'm going to write I times the square root of 7. Sometimes it's nice to keep the I in front of the square root, just so that it doesn't get mistakenly put on the inside. Now our last example, if you take a look at that one, notice I changed the first number from -50 to -25. If we're trying to add these together, we have to simplify first. So simplify each radical before you combine them. If I look at the first one, the square root of -25, I'm going to factor out the negative by putting I in front, and then it's times positive 25. Factor out the negative again, and it's positive 121. Now the square root of 25 is a perfect square. It's 5, and 5 times I is 5i. The square root of 121 is also a perfect square. It's 11, and that gives us 11i. So now we have two terms with the same matching variable. They would be considered like terms. 5i plus 11i would simplify to 16i. And then to write it again in standard form, if a term is missing, we put 0 out in front as a placeholder. When adding and subtracting complex numbers, you're just going to combine like terms. And by that I mean anything that is an a value in one complex number would combine with an a value in the other complex number. Any of the BIs would match up as well. So notice it says, what is the sum? That just means we're adding the two parentheses together. 4 minus 7i plus -11 plus 9i. Each term has an a and a bi. Take the a's and combine them. 4 minus 11 is -7. Take the bi's, -7i plus 9i, and combine like terms. That gives you plus 2i. And notice that's written in standard form for a complex number. When you're asked to find the difference, the sign in between them is subtraction. And I recommend that you distribute the negative in first, and then you can get rid of all the parentheses and just combine like terms. We would have 6 plus 8i, and then if we distribute the negative in, that becomes -2 plus 5i. And now once again, combine your a's, which would be 4, and your bi's, which would be positive 13i. And that's literally all you do to add and subtract with these complex numbers. Another option for us would be to multiply complex numbers. When you're asked to multiply, you're either going to distribute or FOIL. And treat FOIL. There we go. Treat I like a variable. We'll put I in quotes there. Just treat I like a variable, like you'd be foiling with X. You'll want to combine like terms when you're done. That's always to simplify. And when you FOIL, oftentimes you're going to get a new term for I. You might get an I squared, and that's a definition. Anytime you have I squared, you can substitute -1 in its place and then simplify even further. All right, let's try this out for the last part of our video lesson. How can you write each product in the form of A plus BI? That would be our standard form. In the first expression, we have 2i on the outside and 8 minus 9i on the inside. This means we're going to eliminate the parentheses by distributing the 2i in. If we take 2i times 8, that would give us positive 16i. Minus, if we take 2i times 9i squared, times 9i, 2 times 9 is 18, and I times I would give us I squared. Now, as is, they're not like terms. I squared, though, we've said equals -1. If I plug that in place of I squared, we would have 16I minus 18 times negative 1. That negative and negative for that product changes to positive, and that would give you 16I plus 18. Now, that's super close to standard form, but it isn't exactly standard form. You just want to flip-flop the order and have 18 plus 16I. That's multiplying complex numbers together. Let's try the next one. 3 minus 2I and 3 plus 2I. Since there are two parentheses, what we'll do here is FOIL. So I'll do first, outside, and then we'll do inside and last. The first would be 3 times 3, which is 9. The two outsides would be 3 times 2I, and that would be 6I. Oops, get the 6 to show up there. There we go. The two inside terms would be negative 2I times 3, and that's minus 6I. Then we have negative 2I times positive 2I. Negative 2 times positive 2 is negative 4. And I times I is again I squared. Now, we can combine like terms here, but look what happens with the positive 6I and the negative 6I in the middle. They cancel out. And then recognizing that I squared equals negative 1. And what that will do is it'll make negative 4 positive. And that leaves us with 9 plus 4. 9 plus 4 is 13, so that's combining all of our like terms. However, in the form a plus bi, 13 is now the a value, which means the b coefficient is 0. 13 plus 0i. That would be your number in complex form. For tomorrow, I want you to FOIL both of those, and then we'll go through the answers in class. This is your homework.